TTC. I'm Dolphignition. Miami Dolphins lost in their final game at Buffalo, 42-17. Congratulations, Buffalo. You managed to shut us down completely. This was perhaps your greatest game of your season. You sacked Tannehill. Not so hard to do. You rushed past our D-line. Not so hard to do, though there were times you made it look slightly harder. You got into our heads and caused us to get penalties via unsportsmanlike conducts. Though I thank you for allowing that Kiko Alonso to get booted out. That's usually typical of Buffalo to be thuggish like that, so good job. I just have one question, though. Where was this dynamic Bills team when they faced the Jets? Where was this Bill team that faced the Bears? The Colts? Texans? Packers? Yeah. This team that we faced certainly wasn't there, so this pretty much adds up to one thing. You guys won your Super Bowl. So enjoy the new year. Enjoy this win against us. And enjoy the future of what's to come for your franchise. Just make sure you know how to defeat the Patriots. Because this division needs you guys to make us the second division to have all our teams collect a Lombardi. Quite frankly, we should have been the first division to have collected all our rings before 2000 even hit. But no, you guys had to lose 4 times in a row. The only Bills fan I'll give a shout out to is James the Knife. Them Bills defense sure shut us down. But now, on to the real discussion. Ryan Tannehill and his O-line once again showing poor performance again and again. Every time I see this man go for a bullet pass, he either gets sacked, his pass is incomplete, or he throws for either an interception or a pick six. I have now realized what the definition of a really bad quarterback is, and yet this organization hasn't. I can never understand for the life of me what's the point of a third-string quarterback where they're not even put up to the test. I mean, I feel bad enough for my fellow Dolph fans who had to suffer putting up with this bullshit. But I feel even worse for David Fales. We could have at least put him up against the Bills and see if he's worth keeping or not, because Osweiler and now Tannehill sure as hell proved otherwise. But what did we get instead going into this game? Tannehill living up to our skepticism. The only good thing this team did was intercepted the Bills, and before that, barely making a touchdown, and of course a field goal late in the game. For the record, halftime was 14-all. They made a touchdown. That was until let me rephrase myself. Record was 14-all at halftime. After that happened, me and the family decided to go up to a sports bar. Yeah, it's Bo Campers. And then family and I decided to... And then when I first saw one of the TVs streaming on there, I saw that the difference was a score of 14-21. They made a touchdown on our way up to the sports bar. followed by one more in the third quarter and two more in the fourth. All while I had to keep my composure. My composure in what's supposed to be a happy afternoon with family enjoying pub grub. I hate it when this franchise does this to me. It really makes me question whether to continue supporting this team with constant disappointment after constant disappointment from these ridiculous choices made by the people behind the spotlight. After the way they do that, and after the way they do that to me, or not. I give this team so much hope, so much good luck, and so much psychic energy, and I get a big fuck you in return in the form of a performance like that. Now, I gotta wait 9 more fucking months until our next season begins, which I'm quite frankly skeptical about, considering we're like, what, 7th or 10th in line for draft picks? At this point, all the good quarterbacks will be gone, and we might end up being stuck with Tannehill again. I sure as hell hope that's not the case. So, Dolphins, let me review this season. We win the first 3 games against Tennessee. Had it not been for that thunder delay, it could have turned out differently. The Jets, our only away game, that ruined their mojo for the rest of the season. Sorry about that, Jets fans. And Oakland, they're a bad team, but even they nearly beat us. After those 3 wins came our first loss at, surprise, surprise, Foxborough. And after this point, our promised team started going downhill throughout the rest of the season. Cincinnati Week 5, a game we should have won, being an example. We would then get a break, beating the team that clinched the NFC North, Chicago Bears, after the humidity proved to be both our secret weapon and, sadly, the ultimate excuse. But then we get our first home loss against the Lions, whom are now coached by Matt Patricia, an opponent who is very familiar with how we play, in which they played 1 step ahead of us the entire game. Our next opponent after that played like they were 2 steps ahead of us. The Houston Texans. They sure as hell proved Brock Osweiler never belonged there in the first place. I missed the next home game against the Jets due to attending a wedding, but that proved to be thankful as it was quite an ugly win, 13-6. But after that came another unexpected ugly loss at Lambeau. Let me rephrase that. After that came another expected ugly loss at Lambeau Field. We didn't even fucking produce effective first downs in that game. We settled for, 4 field goals? No, I think it was 2 field goals and a touchdown with a botched 1 extra point. After our bye week, I said to myself that if we can't beat Indianapolis, because they didn't look great as they were in the late season, that I'd throw in the towel. And I did, although I truly learned that the power of what Andrew Luck can bring to the Circle City. After that was our first home game, our first game against Buffalo. And they nearly beat us had it not been for Clay catching that ball. So then, after that, it was our second meet against New England. This time at our stadium. I said to myself, we're not going to the playoffs. So if we can't have that glory, let us at fucking least, beat the Patriots. So that way, they don't sweep our season. And lo and behold, the Miami Miracle. That game exposed New England being a team that not only looked terrible every time they stepped foot into our house, but also doesn't look convincing enough going into the playoffs. Sure, the Grim Reaper clinched our group of death once again, but I'd be shocked if they made it to the Super Bowl. And then came the most frustrating part about our season. The last 3 losses. First at Minnesota, I should have known a bad omen was coming once that man blew that horn in the stadium. Then our house at Jacksonville. That loss was bar none the most frustrating loss this entire season. And it was also the worst performance I've ever seen of my Dolphins. I mean, we've had pretty shit performances, but this one just flat out sucked. And of course, it was also the game that technically ruined our chances to make it to the playoffs. And then finally, this Bills game. Here we are, a broken team led by a quarterback whom we've given so many chances for us to win against New England at our house consistently in exchange for just one wildcard playoff loss. A lackluster defense coordinator. Seriously, Burke, you've got to go. The head coach, whom I have mixed feelings about, and overall, a team that only does good when no bad things happen. Otherwise, they collapse like a domino effect. Something that has happened constantly. The suckiest part about this, the ultimate suckiest part about this season, is that the number one highlight of our season, our miraculous win against New England that will go down in history, just only showed that we got lucky and isn't exactly much to brag about. Sure, it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, next to Auburn defeating Alabama in 2013, but still, to win like that before losing 3 in a row, it's maddening. You can try and make me feel better, letting me know about this miraculous win, but when you win like that, against a top team like New England, you should then know how to win throughout the rest of this season, rather than say, fuck everything else. Who needs the playoffs when you won like that? Don't get me wrong. I'm so grateful about that miracle in Miami, and the fact that I gambled my reputation streaming myself watching that game. It paid off beautifully. But still, it sucks going out like this. As for Tannehill, nah. I'm not going to be like EDP445, saying about 4 cuss words and getting all hyper angry about him just to be a view whore. Instead, on behalf of Miami, I'd like to thank Tannehill for all he's done. See, the great thing about being a Dolph fan, a fan of the team that has been such a joke for the last 2 decades, is that you tend to look at the glass half full more, rather than when you're a fan of the Patriots, you always search for any parts of the glass that's half empty to make sure you're full once again. So for Tannehill's sake, he's done not too shabby with us. Along with finding the secret to defeating the Patriots, he's gotten us a good amount of wins. But now, after a series of injuries, constantly being sacked, and throwing unnecessary interceptions in the season that would have defined him, what he can truly, the potential that he could truly show us all, it's time for Tannehill to depart. Tannehill's got to go. Hopefully, when he does go and we get a new quarterback, this new quarterback will be better than him. And to make that happen, he would have to learn how to throw successful bullet passes, rush better, learn how to defeat New England at Foxborough. Will it happen? That's for fate to decide. Until then, Ryan Tannehill and Brock Osweiler are no longer my quarterbacks. Today we're about ready to reach the final hour of the second to last day of 2018. Hopefully this group of death can start changing in 2019, because I've had about enough of this Patriots charity division. It's really funny. True successful divisions should hate each other. Like NFC East with the Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, and Redskins. NFC North, AFC West, and the AFC North. Here in this division, us, the Jets, and the Bills cling beer bottles together, and we only focus on hating New England. And it should not have to be that way. Especially in certain cases when they've been caught cheating to get to where they are. And I know their fan base is going to say, that's getting old, etc. But if you have to go to that extremity to stay on top for that long of a period of time, can you really blame us for constantly bringing up Spygate and Deflategate? And for the record, don't fucking say that Deflategate was bullshit. Tom Brady played this game for a long time. He should know when a ball was deflated, and he rightfully got that punishment. But sadly, even without that, it doesn't change much, because we still can't figure out how to win at Foxborough, nor how to win against tough opponents like how the Patriots can. So I'll say it again. It might not happen because we've hoped for 2 decades now, but hopefully things in our division start changing. And that starts with not only the Bills and the Jets, but our management as well in making smart decisions in drafting, trading, and coaching. Something Craft Circle has done hella better than all of us at doing. So now to wrap up this video. I don't know if I'll be around off season, but I'll do my best to come back the next season. I do constantly go on YouTube, and I'll post replies in the comments section. And just to be clear, I do take advantage of my discussion page, unlike most. So if you have a chance to chat with me, feel free. Until then, I'm hopping off because I'm making plans for the last day of 2018. Once again, congratulations to the Bills Mafia, James the Knife, and of course, I forgot who that player retired after that game happened, but congratulations to him. As a Dolph fan, I can't help but be uber jealous that he left on a high note. A beautiful chance poor Dan Marino never got. Congratulations also, and this makes me sick to say it, but I have to say it. Congratulations to the Patriots and their fans, who once again, for the umpteenth time, clinched our division. They deserved it. No excuses. They absolutely deserved it once again this year. Will I root for them in the playoffs? Considering all their fans treat us like shit, they have 5 rings, and they scarred records in NFL, absolutely fucking not. But considering their experience in playoffs as the 10th wonder of the world, I sadly wouldn't be surprised, no matter how much I wishfully doubt, that they'll make it to the Super Bowl. I mean, let's look at other AFC playoff teams. Texans. They're talented, but they've got ways to go to be a dynasty. Chargers? Barely any playoff experience. They'll probably surpass our performance in playoffs, but still, barely any playoff experience no matter how many wins they have. Steelers. Congratulations on beating the Patriots to the Steelers fans, but if the Pats and the Steelers face again, you can bet Belichick's men will find a way around their steel D-line. The Chiefs. They may have clinched our conference, but Bob Sutton needs to get his head out of his ass. Otherwise, we could be seeing another disastrous finale for Patrick Mahomes and his men. And last but not least, whoever takes the final spot. I hope it's the Ravens, because neither the Titans nor the Colts look good enough to beat New England, compared to Harbaugh's men. But aside from that, to my fellow Dolph fans, keep your heads up high. See the glass half full. Keep repping the aqua blue, white, and orange. And keep repping the hashtag Bad Guys Forever. 'Cause next year, we take on the NFC East. And I'm going all out on these hate weeks against them. It's going to be exciting. Until 2019, this is Dolphignition, Fins Up, Bad Guys Forever, and to all the people who have subscribed to me, to the Dolph fans across the globe, and to the Women's USA National Soccer Team, I wish all of you the best of luck next year. Adios.